Recently, Bioware have come out and announced that they are working on Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and as many of you may know, Mass Effect holds an important place on the channel. Before delving into Monster Hunter, Mass Effect was the most popular game that I covered and made guides for, namely its multiplayer. So this news got my attention. But as well as getting my hopes up, I also have fears in regard to this news. Now, Mass Effect Legendary Edition includes all the first 3 main games, so that's Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3. This will also include all the single player DLC as well as promotional DLC as well. This is normally including weapons and armor and such. So it's the complete single player package, excluding of course Andromeda. All this will be optimized for 4K Ultra HD visuals. Bioware have said in their blog that their goal was not to remake or reimagine the original games, but to modernize the experience so that fans and new players can experience the original works in its best possible form. So they're aiming to bring us super sharp resolution, faster frame rates and visual enhancements. And this is what brings me to my first concern, in all honesty. My main concern is how they're going to approach the engine behind Mass Effect Legendary Edition. The original 3 Mass Effects, Mass Effect 1, 2 and 3, were all made on Unreal Engine. However, Mass Effect Andromeda was made on the Frostbite engine, which, if you remember, Bioware kind of had issues with when it came to Andromeda. To me, the game was far more impressive on the Unreal Engine, and Mass Effect's iconic storytelling and gameplay seemed to work better on Unreal when compared to Frostbite. However, EA, who owns Bioware, I believe insists that all their future games going forward are made on the Frostbite engine, which could potentially cause issues. So that's my first cause of concern. Obviously in the blog they didn't give us information behind what engine they would be working with. Personally, like I said, I hope it's Unreal, but obviously EA want everything done on Frostbite now, so things may change. This will obviously lead into my next concern, which is if the gameplay is going to evolve. One of the best aspects of Andromeda, in all honesty, was kind of its gameplay, to the point where having jetpacks in that made the original Mass Effect trilogy feel a little bit outdated, even though the technology lore-wise was supposed to be the same. So are they going to bring the original trilogy to include stuff like jetpacks and that found in Andromeda? So that's another question and concern I have. For me personally, if they're able to stick to at least Mass Effect 3 gameplay, I'll be happy with the Legendary Editions. The elemental combos, the gunplay in 3 was a lot better than Mass Effect 1 and 2, so I would be happy to see all 3 of the games brought up to the same level of gameplay as Mass Effect 3, but again we'll have to wait and see how things develop, as not much else was mentioned in the blog regarding gameplay. Which brings us on to my next thought, which is the story. Mass Effect trilogy is quite an iconic story, even if the ending wasn't to everyone's cup of tea. But this reimagining may be an opportunity to alleviate that slightly. However, for me personally, I would prefer if they didn't change the story, but this also brings about a whole host of other challenges in that. Going back to the engine, if they are changing things in that, are they going to keep the same voice actors, for example? So on and so forth. I mean, some of the voice actors, for example, the voice actor who played Zaid isn't actually with us anymore, unfortunately. So are they going to redo all the voice work, or just bring over and re-enhance what we already have with the current Mass Effect trilogy? For me personally, a combination of the two would be nice. For example, I would love to see the voice actors and voice work that were found in the original trilogy brought over, but maybe, just maybe, enhance the ending a slight bit. For me personally, the ending wasn't the biggest issue I had, especially with the extended cut, but I can see other fans of the series appreciating any sort of enhancement of the ending. But again, we'll have to wait and see. One aspect I would like to see improved personally is the character creator. Whilst granted the default Shepard, both male and female, looks good, it would be nice to have an improved character creator so we can create our own Shepards with Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Most of the time when you were utilising the character creator in the original Mass Effect trilogy, you would end up with a character, a Shepard, that looked more like an action figure than a real person. With these graphical improvements that Bioware are trying to bring with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I hope that we'll be able to create more authentic and organic looking custom characters to personalise our adventures. One of the other thoughts that was going through my head, which I'm kind of disappointed in a way, is Mass Effect Legendary Edition at this point in time, it has no mention of if there is multiplayer in the game. The Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is always going to hold a special place in my heart. It's really what kind of jump-started the channel, so to speak. And whilst yes, I found a little bit of success with the Uncharted series, Mass Effect is where things started to pick up speed, so to speak. Making the various Mass Effect 3 multiplayer class guides was a lot of fun, and it paved the groundwork to the guides I make today. And with the rumours that a Mass Effect trilogy remaster was in the works, it always had me hoping that maybe they'd bring back the multiplayer and I can make up-to-date guides that are better looking and overall just have higher production value. But alas, that doesn't seem to be the case. At least not for now. I can imagine if they wanted to do it, it would bring over a whole host of other additional issues as well as extra work for the Bioware team who are working on Mass Effect Legendary Edition, whether we'd have to start from scratch, or if we can bring over our old profiles, how they're going to handle loot boxes, so on and so forth. Yes, unfortunately Mass Effect 3 multiplayer was one of the original games that started the loot box trend, so I'm not sure how well that would go over in today's video game climate. Which brings me on to my last and final concern, which is how well EA are going to treat this, whether they're going to see it as just a cash grab to reignite the interest in Mass Effect, whether they're going to treat it with the passion that fans have for the series. But then again, that's always going to be a concern so long as EA are the publishers. On top of that, Bioware aren't exactly in everyone's good graces at the moment, unfortunately, but this is a chance for redemption and I hope they pull it off. Because there was a teaser in the blog that they are actually working on the next installment in the Mass Effect franchise. Whether this is a continuation of Andromeda or what, we'll have to wait and see. It's in the works and it's in its very early stages, it seems. But nonetheless, it means that they've brought Mass Effect back off the shelf at least. It's not in the fridge anymore, so it's falling out. And Mass Effect Legendary is a decent way to re-spark the interest in their franchise. But we won't have to wait long till it's released. They're aiming for a release date of spring 2021 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and of course Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. But of course, with the current health situations and political climate at the moment, that could be delayed. We'll have to wait and see. Bioware have put out a small teaser trailer for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, but this doesn't really show any gameplay. To be honest, it shows more concept art than anything else. But if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below to the trailer as well as the Bioware blog, which has all the information regarding this announcement, so check it out if you're interested. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep my eye on this one as Mass Effect is important to me and the channel, so I'll bring you more news as soon as I find it out. Overall, I'm cautiously optimistic. I am excited about this news and I really do hope it pans out. I hope Bioware can deliver. I'd love to replay the series as well as introduce it to new players. It would also give me an opportunity to do which I never got round to doing with the original trilogy, which is do single player builds. We'll have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below, and until next time, I've been Darcblade, bringing my thoughts and fears regarding Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.